Hi, boys and girls. I'm so excited to be back again. We're going to learn some information about where we live. So the last video we did, we talked about our country, city, and state. So remember, we live in the United States of America, in North Carolina, and our city is Durham. So we live in all of those places. They're all in the same location. And so today we're going to talk about North Carolina a little more, because in North Carolina, there's all different environments and places that different plants and animals can live. So what we are going to do is I'm going to share my screen and we're going to talk about North Carolina plants and animals. And we're going to try to get as much done as possible, but we might not get through all of it, okay? So this is North Carolina. In North Carolina, there's 3 different areas. There's the mountains, like we talked about, the Piedmont, which is where we live. Right here is Durham. That's where we live. And Piedmont just means that it's kind of a mixture of hills and kind of flat, but not really flat, like over here at the beach, which is called the coastal plains. You might hear people say, I'm going to the coast. That's because the beach is also called the coast. So we have the mountains, Piedmont, coastal plains, all right? All right, so here are the mountains. The mountains are purple right now. So there are different plants that live in the mountains. So azaleas and dogwood trees and primrose, those are all different types of plants. And some animals that live in the mountains are cardinals, a box turtle, and a black bear. So these are all things that usually live in the mountains. Now, we see cardinals here in Durham where we live in the Piedmont, but it just means that oftentimes they're in the mountains or they can be in different places in North Carolina. So those are azaleas. We have azaleas in my yard and they're beautiful. This is a dogwood tree. Dogwoods are the state flower in North Carolina, which is very cool. And then these are primroses. Those are a type of flower. Those are cardinals. Box turtle. We had a box turtle. I've seen one just a few weeks ago. And a black bear. So those are animals and plants that usually live in the mountains. Here are some other plants and animals you might see. The eagle. These are called hydrangeas, otters, bunnies, skunks, black snakes, all different things. All right, the Piedmont. So that's here in the middle. So that's where we live. So plants that live in the Piedmont are magnolia trees, honeysuckle, and longleaf pine. So you might have pine trees. I have a lot of pine trees in my yard. And then animals are the gray squirrel, white-tailed deer, and red-shouldered hawks. All of those animals are always in my backyard. I always see hawks and deer and squirrels. So this is a magnolia tree. I love magnolia flowers. I think they're so pretty and they smell really good. They usually grow really tall, just like that picture shows. These are honeysuckles. Sometimes you can eat a honeysuckle or you smell them. They smell so good. And longleaf pines. We see a lot of longleaf pines here in Durham. A gray squirrel. Look at this squirrel. Cooper and Charlie like to bark at all the squirrels in our yard. Deer. We have a lot of deer in our yards and in the forest. Sometimes you see them crossing the road, so you have to be careful. Red-shouldered hawk. I always love seeing hawks. And here are some other ones, like raccoons, ducks, all different things. Those are the animals and plants we just learned about. All right, and then last but not least is the coastal plains, and this is where Mr. Joseph and Miss Barnhill are going to live. So, and the plants are Venus flytraps. I love Venus flytraps. I think they are the coolest plant probably ever. And when I was in school, I always tried to learn about Venus flytraps. That's what I always did for my project time. But anyways, so Venus flytraps, maritime oaks, Spanish moss. So Spanish moss is, well, you'll see the picture, but it's a tree and you see like the hanging stuff from the tree. We'll look at it. Animals are the great horned owl, crayfish, and wild horses. So these are Venus flytraps. They're really cool because they're meat eaters. They they have it open and they have little, almost like sensors in their plants, so that when an animal or bug lands in it, they close their it's like their mouth. They close it and trap it, and then they eat it. It's so cool. I think it's just really the coolest thing. Now, it's not going to hurt humans at all. It's just insects. These are maritime oaks. I love, love, love these. We have a lot of them in Wilmington, and they're super pretty. Excuse me. This is Spanish moss. This is what I was talking about. It's usually a tree, and it's hanging down from the tree. It looks really, really pretty. In the roads that we drive on in Wilmington or down by the beach, it usually is hanging over the road, so it makes it look really nice when you're driving around. These are great horned owls. We learned about owls. Crayfish. They're kind of like almost like a little bitty lobsters, but they're not quite the same as lobsters. Here are wild horses. If you go to the Outer Banks in North Carolina, they have wild horses that run on the beach. They're so cool. All right, there are some other coastal plain plants. See ducks, there's alligators, you might see fish, all different things. Nice. We did it, guys. All right, so remember the 3 types of areas in North Carolina. Mountains, say mountains. Good. Piedmont, say Piedmont. Good, that's where we live. And the coastal plains. Good, that's the beach. So those are the 3 areas, and you're gonna get to practice the 3 areas and some of the things that might live there, and we'll talk more about it. But I'm really proud of you. You guys are doing an amazing job, and I'm glad that we're getting to learn some new things. I hope you're enjoying it, and I'll hope to see you soon. I love you guys.